what I have found is that when we have a calling, obviously our calling comes from God, and when we choose it, when we agree to it, and we engage in it, and we connect with it, we experience energy and zeal and life. Well, hey there. So I know it's been a while since I've done my last video, and I'm sorry for the delay, but I've been just thinking about something, a reality that I've experienced and that I've witnessed. There's a huge difference between making a living and having a calling. One deals with compliance because you have to do it. The other is chosen, and it makes us committed. So how have I seen this? Well, when I was shepherding sheep and goats, I was doing it for a man, but I wasn't a hireling. They were his sheep, but I was committed to them as if they were my own. I felt like that season in my life was a calling. It was what I was supposed to do. It was what gave me energy. I was fueled and energized by the activity, even though it was mundane and sometimes filthy. I chose to do it. I was called to do it, and I enjoyed doing it. I actually painted a painting that kind of reflects that time for me and the difference between sheep and goats. And it's interesting, making a living versus your calling. In the picture, which you see right now, you see the pride, the arrogance, the strength of this beautiful ram, and then you see the sheep below, humble, meek, and simple. So what I have found is that when we have a calling, when we choose our calling, obviously our calling comes from God, and when we choose it, when we agree to it, and we engage in it, and we connect with it, we experience many things. One is energy and zeal and life to accomplish the task at hand. Absolutely beautiful. It's engaging into your purpose, and that's beautiful. It gives us a sense of satisfaction. It gives us a sense of fulfillment because we're engaging in what our purpose is. Now, I'm not saying that we don't have to make a living. And there are seasons that we have to do things to get us to our calling. And that's fine. That's wonderful. That's a commitment and a purpose that you're setting yourself up to engage your calling. But when we live the hourly life, we're just trading our hours for dollars, and there's no passion behind it, and there's no purpose behind it, we can feel exhausted. We can feel used, and we can feel like we're spinning our wheels and getting nowhere. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. I have so much more energy when I enter my calling to accomplish the task than I do just white knuckling it and making money. Back to the shepherding. When I shepherded those sheep and goats, I was called to do it. And I had the ability to wake up in the middle of the night and go deal with a birthing of a lamb or a kid. I had the ability to fight weather. I had the ability to muck out stalls. I had passion behind it because I had a calling to do it, and I had a commitment behind it. There's such a huge difference between being a hireling and being a shepherd. And the magic part happens when we can connect our making a living with our calling. That's beautiful. That's teaming with life. That's part in our passion. And it gives us the most satisfaction and fulfillment. It brings joy to our heart. So I encourage you to seek the Lord, find your calling, work to enter your calling. And sometimes you have to do that free of charge because that's the way it works. But as we prayerfully work our calling and we work our life and we engage with the task at hand that we're supposed to do, that we were purposed to do, we come away from that fulfilling our destiny and truly living a purposeful life. So I pray that that's what you find. I pray that you engage your calling and that you seek to enter that calling. And whether it makes you a lot of money or not, you get into that calling and you develop it and allow God to supply your needs based on your calling, because He's called you to do it. He will provide for you in it. So I love y'all. I appreciate you, and God bless you. I hope your calling is revealed and engaged and thrives in this world. Hey, I did want to say one thing. If you're seeking out your calling and you're having a hard time finding your calling, living out your calling, sometimes coaching helps in developing that and making that a reality. I know personally coaching has helped me to find my calling and to connect with my calling and my purpose. And I was coached through that process and through that situation, and it was absolutely life-giving because I was able to work it out, lay it out, discover even realities that I didn't understand about my calling. And then I was held accountable for different landmarks along the way to help me achieve my goals and live my calling. So if you happen to be struggling with your calling, with the difference between living your calling and making a living, and you want some help, reach out. Let's do a discovery call. Let's see if we can get you from where you are to where you want to be through a coaching dynamic and paradigm. We don't have to do this alone. There are resources out there, there are people out there, and there are coaches and mentors that can help us to establish and create the existence that we really want to live. So I hope you'll reach out to me and we can help you get from where you are to where you want to go.